summer here, and today I want to show you how to paint one of my very favorite things. I know, I said planets are my favorite and creepy trees are my favorite, but I just love to paint. So everything I paint pretty much is my favorite. So I want to show you another favorite of mine, and that is galaxies. So I've listed all the materials that you're gonna need down below underneath the video. So go ahead and pause the video, go grab your stuff, get to your workspace, and let's learn how to paint a galaxy. All right, so today we're going to paint this galaxy here. I love painting galaxies. It is a lot of free flow. It's a lot of picking colors that you like, making like edges and things like this look like they're glowing, which I think is kind of neat. Okay, so we're gonna do like we normally do, and we're just gonna use a half a sheet of watercolor paper. Okay, so let's go ahead and get out our tape, and we're just gonna go ahead and tape our watercolor paper to our work surface. As you can see, like on my sample here, I taped all four sides. I'm gonna do the same with this painting, and we'll go ahead and do it, and we're not gonna cover that much of the edge. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my reference off to the side. I always like to have my reference there to kind of remember what it is that I did. Okay, so gosh, my paint's crowded myself here. So let me zoom out a little bit and show you my workspace here. Awesome. So have you been liking the tutorials so far? I hope so. I like making them for you. All right, so like as before, we always say stick our tape onto our clothes and then rip it off. And then, you know, you just cover the edges of the paper. So let me zoom in a little bit. You see, I'm just covering that edge of the paper right there. Okay, we don't need to cover too much of that paper, but that's completely your preference if you want to cover more or less. And see, I already made a mistake, but that's okay. No big whoop. There we go. I have a thing about my tape. I like it to be done perfect. But that's okay. All right, so let's do this. And let's do this side over here. Awesome. So I hope you like these paintings. Doing all these tutorials, I totally enjoy doing them for you. Let me kind of move some of my stuff out of the way. See, the sun's casting a shadow. That's fine. Making shadow puppets. Okay, enough playing around. Get into business. All right, so first we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start with our flat brush. Try to get the biggest flat brush that you have, and we're gonna brush our whole surface. So we're gonna invisibly paint with our water. So I'll show you here my water. I'm gonna dip that in. Squeeze out some of the water out of my brush, and we're gonna go ahead and visibly paint our entire sheet of watercolor paper. Now you don't have to use watercolor paper. It is preferred because it does hold the water in the paint better, but you can always, if you run out, you can always use construction paper, or you can use printer paper, whatever you got laying around. Art does not have to be expensive. All right, let me roll up my sleeves a little bit here. Alrighty. So I'm going to invisibly paint this entire sheet of paper. Awesome. And now we've made an invisible galaxy. Congratulations. Just kidding. You know me, my cheesy jokes. I'm here for your entertainment. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead, and today I'm using my paints. My paints are just a little bit different. The colors and things are very similar. It's just a different brand. And seriously, the difference between my paint and your paint is my paint costs more. That's a joke. And just, yeah, whatever. My jokes are terrible. Ask your uncle. All right, so what colors are we gonna do? So in my reference piece, I did my galaxies and oranges and pinks and purples. Today we could also stick with the orange and pink and purple, or we can get a little creative and use some colors that we typically don't use. I think I want to start with, you always start with a lighter color, and then you kind of progress into the darker colors. Like I said before, it's all about layers, right? So let's go ahead and we're gonna get our big mop brush here. We're gonna go ahead and put it in our water, squeeze it out, just leave a little bit of water in there because we are gonna pick a color. This is where I have a hard time. So I think I'm gonna go with this color here. It's like this orangey yellow. Do you see it? It's like an orangey yellow color. So I'm gonna select that. You can select whatever color you like. So I'm just going to start dabbing it like this on to my wet paper. And then I've just added a little bit more water to that color so I could pick up more pigment out of the little tray where it lives. And I just kind of made like this weird squiggle across my paper. So it kind of goes up and then down to the side. You can do it however you like. You can do it at an angle. You can do it straight across. You can do a little bit here and a little bit there. I mean, like nature, because you know the universe is nature. Nothing's symmetrical and everything's kind of crazy, and that's what I dig about it. So I'm gonna go ahead after I'm done there, dip my brush into some water, squeeze the water out because I'm gonna go along the edges. Lightly, gently, just go on the edges to kind of just make it look like there's no lines, kind of like it's soft, right? And then just kind of paint it. So just paint it on both sides. So just make it look soft. Okay? Awesome. So there we go. So we're gonna go back and we're gonna grab some of this orangey yellow color that I chose again, whatever color that you're choosing. And we're gonna kind of just go back over this one more time. And just kind of, you can go over the entire thing. I'm just gonna kind of follow the bottom of mine. I think this is where I want this color a little bit darker. Because let me zoom in here to show you. Because when you do these layers, right? When you do these layers like this, it's going to, where you layer it over each other is where it's gonna become darker every time you do it. Okay, hang on, let me adjust my camera. Just when I think I get things done, set up the exact way I want them, I see it, and then I'm like, nah, not quite right. Not quite right. Oops, 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 skirt. There we go. Perfect. Fixed it. Nailed it. All right. So we just go ahead and fill this in. Da, da, da. All right, so I'm dipping my brush again. I'm gonna squeeze out that water, and I'm just gonna go along this edge. Alrighty. This is looking good. Okay, as you can see, our paper is buckling. That is gonna happen. All right, this means our paper is a little too wet. So let's take a moment. Let's take our blow dryer and let's go ahead and blow dry this. Let's say for 15 seconds, and then we'll come back and we'll start filling in some more. Okay, so we blow dried it. We still see there are some ripples, but that's okay. It's gonna happen. Once we fully dry it, it'll get better. So let's go ahead and pick another color as our contrasting color. So I'm gonna do something like this magenta-y color here. So I'm gonna do like oranges and magentas, I think, for this one. So let's just kind of pick a spot and just slap it on there. Like, I'm not even kidding. You just pick a spot and just put it on there. Just dab it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just picking a spot, get my brush wet, have it to where there's water on it. So when I put it in my paint, it makes that You know, it makes that liquidy mud looking, right? And then I just kind of dab it in there. Perfect. Just dab it in there. Maybe take a little bit up here. It kind of looks like some weird funky clouds going on. I'm digging it. Okay, so now that I kind of got that first layer of that down, I'm gonna rinse my brush. And I'm gonna go ahead once again, I'll show you, rinse my brush, and then I'm gonna squeeze out some of that water. I'm gonna go over the edges. See how I just kind of trace the edges, and that's it. Trace the edges. I'm gonna do the same at the top. So I'm just dipping my water, squeeze it out, and just trace. And see, when I trace, it kind of gets rid of those hard edges, because that's what we want to do. We just want to keep those hard edges soft. And then because it, you know, we just want to keep that hard edge soft. So if we have to, get a little bit more water and just kind of keep doing it with just water, no pigment, okay? No paint this time, just water. Cool. I'm so excited. Look how cool this looks. All right, so we're gonna do this again. We're gonna take our, we're gonna go ahead and get some more water. We're gonna go ahead and squeeze some of that out. And now we're just gonna color in the white spots. So I just want you to color in the white spots of your painting like this. Color in the white spots and then kind of go into the color just a little bit. So you see, I'm going right into the color, but then I'm coming back down into my white spot. Just trying to get that paper wet because we're gonna add some more color. Okay, so down here, I'm gonna take a slightly darker color. So I use this yellow, which I'm gonna grab a little bit more and kind of just make some polka dots off to the side here, like that. Doop, 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 doo. You gotta make sound effects or it doesn't work. So let me hear your sound effects. Doop, 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 doo. Cool. All right, rinse out our brush. Now, once we rinse out our brush, make sure there's a little bit of water left over because we're gonna get a new color. We're gonna get this orange color right here. So I'm gonna grab this orange color. Kind of swirl it in there. Okay, and then we're just gonna dab the orange color with the yellow and that magenta-y pink color. And we just kind of dab it in there. Okay, so I'm thinking every like nebula, galaxy, sorry, my brush was shedding. Every nebula, galaxy, you know, has a center. So I'm thinking this here is gonna be my center. So basically that's where we're gonna clump all the color. Okay, so pick a spot now to where you want all your color to go. It could be over here, here, or here, but pick a spot where we're gonna start really putting all of our color. Okay, all right, I'm choosing the center. So I'm gonna grab some more of my magenta paint here. Okay, I'm gonna kind of just dab it here in the center. You're like, but Aunt Summer, that's super dark. I'm like, yeah, I know. Just hang on, we're getting there. So I'm just gonna dab some super dark right in here. Okay, and then we just kind of do some little polka dots out from it. See if I can zoom in a little bit more. Perfect. And we're gonna just kind of do some more polka dots out from it. Like that. And since it's already wet, it kind of just like blends in. It's kind of neat, right? Cool. So we're gonna do more layers and it's gonna be fun. I love making these. They're so much fun. And they're so colorful. So yeah, I'm just gonna take all that paint that I put in there and just kind of dab it around. That's literally all I'm doing. Just dibble dabble dibble dabble dibble. Maybe make some dark streaks coming from there. Awesome. All right, let's rinse out our brush. And then we're gonna go for that orange color. Oops. We're gonna go for that orange color again. And we're just gonna kind of dab that orange color into here. Right underneath where we put that magenta-y pink color. Okay. I'm just kind of, let me zoom out a little bit to show you what I'm doing here. It's I'm just taking my brush on the side like this. See how I'm doing here? Not up and down, but off to the side, and I'm just patting it. Little pats. You don't have to do it very hard, just little gentle pats. Pitty pat, pitty pat, pitty pat. Let me hear your sound effects. Pitty pat, pitty pat, pitty pat, or whatever. Okay, so that looks wonderful. Let's go ahead, rinse our brush out. And this is where we're gonna do magic with our blow dryer, okay? We're gonna take our blow dryer, we're gonna tilt it to the side, and then we're just gonna kind of swirl it around like this, and we're gonna let that paint dry. So let's go ahead and do it. If you want, you could pause the video if you need longer time, but if not, I'll go ahead and I'll make sure this loud, obnoxious noise isn't bothering you, but I'm gonna show you how we're gonna swirl it around, okay? Ready, set, go. Okay, so we're done with the blow dryer. I know what you're thinking. And Summer, there's paint all over the place. Yeah, I know. We're gonna get there, I promise. Okay, so let's go back to that flat brush we have, and we're just gonna go ahead and dip that into our water. Make sure you squeeze all the water off that flat brush, because we're gonna do something insane. We're going to very lightly and gently just go over our whole painting. Very light, very gentle. Like that. Grab a little bit more water, kind of wipe your brush on the side to get out some of the excess water, and just lightly and gently go back and forth. Back and forth. And then come up and go back and forth. Just like that. See? How cool is that? Now we have some really neat shapes and things to work with. I'm so excited, you guys. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our brush a little wet. Go back to that yellow that we started with, or whatever color it is you started with. And then I'm going to just kind of fill it in here. So I'm just gonna kind of put it right here in this center part. Right here. So I will say, and don't be discouraged, every painting goes through what I call an ugly phase, and that's kind of where we are with this. You're like, geez, this just looks like a bunch of paint splattered all over the place. It's not pretty. I'm not seeing it. Hang on. You gotta hang on with me through the ugly phase. I promise. Okay. So there, I just kind of splattered yellow all over the place. Grab some magenta. Do the same thing with the magenta. Mix it in with some of my yellow a little bit. Okay. There we go. It's all about layers, and we'll get there, I promise. I promise. I've done this like a lot. It always looks gross and ugly like this, and you're like, oh, what am I doing? We'll get there. Okay, so let's go ahead, rinse our brush a little bit, leave a little bit of water on there, grab our orange, and we're just gonna dab that orange right in here. Perfect. You're doing such a great job. You really are, and I know it's frustrating, the ugly face, but we're gonna get out of it real fast, I promise. All right, so let's kind of move some of that pink around a little bit. All right, cool. So this is where we're gonna start shaping up what we got going on, okay? So with that same brush, with that same round brush, we're gonna go ahead and rinse it out. Leave a little bit of water on it, because now we're gonna do something crazy. We're gonna go for the darkest blue we have on our palette. We're gonna pull that dark blue. It's like one of these two, right? For me, anyway. So I'm just kind of like mixing them together, no big deal. And now, you see these white parts? We're gonna start filling in those white parts right here with the blue. You can go into your yellow a little bit if you like. Go up in there. So we're gonna start filling this in, okay? And then just grab some more. And then fill in up here too. There you go. See? It's starting to take shape. Grab some more. Fill it in. So that's all we're going to be doing is we just want to fill in the white spots with the blue. Okay? That's what we're doing right now. Now, if you want, you can come in and start like giving it a little, what I like to call personality. Kind of throw a little bit of extra pigment and color in there. Maybe you don't like this part, so let's just fill that part in with blue. And you're like, I really don't like that. Let's go ahead and get rid of that then. Because we're gonna come back in here with black. And then just a little bit. Okay. Awesome. This is looking so good. I know you don't believe me. Trust. It's looking good. All right. So go ahead, rinse your brush off a little bit. Okay. And make sure you get all the water out of it. And we're going to go back and we're going to touch that blue. Just remember where like the white spots were. And we just kind of want to fill that in. We're going to come up here. We're going to do it up here too. Just fill it in. Nice. Alrighty. Maybe, like I said, add a little personality to it. Okay, so before we go, I do have clean water. So let's rinse our brush in clean water. Okay. And we're going to go to the white on our palette. Okay, make sure there's water on your brush. So we're gonna grab the white on your palette. Okay, and now we're just gonna kind of dab it into where your colors are. Okay, and then in your clean water again, rinse your brush, grab some more white, and we're gonna dab it into the colors again, like that. Awesome. Okay, so after that's done, we'll set our brush down and we're gonna use our blow dryer and we're just gonna kind of dry it up and move some of the paint around and we'll come right back. Okay, ready? Let's go. Okay, I'm back. My painting is completely dry, exactly the way that I wanted it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and with our flat brush again, just like we did last time, except this time we're gonna use our clean water. Just go ahead and rinse it out. And we're just gonna do a light coating of water over the entire painting. So just lightly back and forth. Make sure you squeeze. If you need more water, that's fine. Just make sure you squeeze it out. Just lightly back and forth. And that's it. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. We are killing it. I'm so proud of you. All right. So now what we're going to do is let's go ahead and grab some of our black. So rinse. So we're going to go back to our round brush, put some water on it. We're going to grab that black. And we're just kind of going to go over the blue parts, okay? So grab the black and go over, not all of the blue, just most of it. So let's focus on where you want the darkness of the universe to come from, essentially. So the absence of light. So this beautiful nebula here is giving us all this light. And let's go ahead and show where it ends and the universe starts. So this is cool. So we just basically take the black. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can see. Take the black and just kind of dab it in around
I like to take my brush on the side like this and just kind of like push it in like this. And just kind of dab it in. Rinse out my brush, squeeze out some of the water, and just go around the edges to keep those edges from getting hard and keep it soft. So let's go around those edges like that. Beautiful. So let's do the same at the top. So dip our brush into some water, put it in the black, and just start filling it in. Just like this. We're gonna add more color to our nebula, don't worry. If you cover up some of it, that's cool too. Yeah, we put that blue down because you see how that blue comes out from behind the black. That's really neat, and that kind of gives it like that glowy look. Yeah. Oh, awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna rinse my brush. I'm gonna leave a little bit of water on it because I'm gonna go back into that blue of mine, and I'm gonna kind of just go where that black met the other colors with the blue and just kind of lightly follow it. So you can see the other colors shining through underneath. Yay, look how excited. I'm so excited. Do you see how cool this looks? Do you see what a good job you're doing? Because this is awesome sauce. All right, grab a little bit of blue, kind of do that up here too. Just fill it in. Alrighty. Beautiful, look at this thing. It's kind of, oh, it's gorgeous. You're gorgeous. I love it. All right, so let me see here. Let's go ahead and grab some more black. And now this is where we're gonna start filling it in, okay? So just go ahead and start filling in like your corners. So you see here, I'm gonna fill in the corners with black. So just take your dark colors and just kind of start dabbing it. See how I just dibble dabble? Grab some more. Just kind of dab it on there. Awesome. Awesome. Do you see it coming together? Do you see where it looks like it's glowing over here? Oh, how cool. How cool is that? Okay, so let's just fill in that corner with black. I'm gonna grab, I wet my brush just a little bit because my black little disc over here was getting dry, so I got that all wet again. And woo! Okay, it splattered, but that's okay because I wanted it to go there anyway. So we're just, and be careful with the splatters. I have a bad habit of sometimes getting things too wet, and that's what causes the splatters, but that's okay. No big deal. That's why I keep like these rags around and stuff like that. So if I think it gets too wet, I just kind of like wipe it off. Wipe my brush off just to kind of get some of that excess water and stuff out of there. Because sometimes we don't want our painting to be too wet. It gets messy. And we're not here to make a mess. We're here to make beautiful art. Okay. Awesome. Look at this. It is coming together. Amazing. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit here. Awesome, awesome. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and rinse out our brush and then grab some clean water and then just go around these hard edges. You see where this looks like a hard edge here? We're just gonna touch it with water. That's it. We're just gonna, these hard edges, we're just gonna lightly brush it over. And that's it. Real easy. Okay, so now I promised you we're gonna go back into our colors. So I'm gonna rinse my brush again and have a little bit of water on it. I'm gonna go back and grab some of that magenta. And I'm gonna take my brush on the side. I'm gonna gently kind of like push it towards the black, like that. All the way down. That's it. Easy. Rinse our brush out again. Gonna grab that yellow that I think is really cool. Reminds me of the fall, especially right now with the leaves changing. Love it. We're gonna take that yellow and we're just gonna kind of do the same thing. Our brush on the side like this. We're just gonna kind of move it around, just like that. with our brush to the side. Oh, how cool is that? You are doing such a great job. You really are. You're killing it. Okay, rinse my brush again. I'm gonna go grab that orange. I'm telling you, I'm into fall colors right now. Leaves are changing. It's gorgeous up here right now. I should show you pictures of my front yard because it's so pretty. Oh, and I saw like so many birds today. I saw a couple of woodpeckers. I'm talking like big ones. I saw woodpeckers, and we had a bunch of cardinals in the yard today, and blue jays. Oh my goodness, blue jays. They were all over the place, and they were squawking, and they looked so pretty. I'll have to show you a picture. So I'm gonna grab some more magenta and just kind of dab it in here. All right, gotta make the sound effect. Doop, 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 doo. Make your sound effect. Doop, 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 doo. Just make a little polka dots. Doop, 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 doo. Make a little nebula. Doop, 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 doo. This is where the stars are born. Doop, 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 doo. Mostly when I'm painting by myself, I sing those in my head. But since I'm here with you, I feel like I should sing them out loud. Okay, cool. All right, let's rinse our brush, grab some clean water, and grab a little bit of white, and just kind of dab the white in there. See? Grab some more white, dabby dabby to the white. Just like that. Just dabby dabby the white in there. Cool. All right, now we're gonna use our breath and we're gonna blow on it to kind of swirl it around. Oh, that was fun. And now I'm dizzy. All right, so now we got this pool of color. I just move that around a little bit. Oh, that's so cool. Alrighty. So this time we're gonna take our blow dryer, not so close, we're gonna take our blow dryer real high. Like when I mean real high, I mean take like the blow dryer the length of like your elbow on the table, and then hold it real high above your painting to try not to move it around too much, okay? Let's do it. This is real loud, I'm gonna tell you. Mine is real high, and so it's lightly drying and not moving it around too much. Now, if you don't have a blow dryer or you're afraid to move it around, pause the video, walk away, let it dry, go get yourself a drink, something like that, and then come back, and that should be plenty enough time. All right, I'm gonna use a blow dryer, but it's completely up to you, okay? Your choice. Okay, even though I used my blow dryer real high, I had like this little bit mistake. I'm not worried about it because we're gonna paint over it because, you know, it's layers, playa. Okay, so the one thing I am gonna do though, I'm gonna take my rag and kind of wipe up my mess though. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna go back to our black, back to black. So we're gonna go back to our black. We're going to, this time, we are going to grab a smaller flat brush. All right, we're gonna get that wet because we're going to lightly layer the black. Okay, so I'm gonna take it away from my painting because I've been having a habit of being sloppy today. So, and then we're gonna take our flat brush and we're just going to just layer it. Just layer it, just like this. Just kind of go over our edges. Just like that. Pretty great. And now I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna do the top of my painting this way. Just gently streak it and see where that mistake was? Oh, look, I covered it up. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So we'll just go ahead and do that. Cover it up. Alrighty. Just like that. And I'm gonna leave that little guy there because I like him. He's cool. All right, and once I have it like this, I'm gonna go ahead, rinse my brush and set my smaller flat brush and set it to the side. I'm gonna take my round brush again, get it a little bit wet, squeeze out all the water, and just go around the hard edges, just like we did last time. This is a lot of doing the same thing over and over again, but it looks cool when we're done, I promise. Yep, just go over the edges, real gentle like. So rinse my brush, squeeze out the water, and then I'm gonna do it down here at the bottom too. See how I can see my edge? I don't want that. So I'm just gonna gently go over it. Like use my brush on the side and swipe it like this. Just swipe it. Okay. Alrighty. Just like that. Awesome sauce. Okay, this is a little harder, so I put a little bit more water on my brush. I didn't rinse out as much of the water because that line keeps staying hard and I don't like that. I want it to go away. Okay, awesome. So now I'm gonna go grab my colors again. It's one of the last times we're gonna use these colors. Okay, so I rinse my brush. I'm gonna grab my yellow and I'm gonna come in here, just kind of fill it in. Use the side of my brush, okay? We're using the sides of the brush and just gently, ever so gently, just filling in color. Okay, I'm gonna use my magenta. Do the same thing. I'm gonna gently fill in my magenta. And then I'm gonna, go over here and revisit my mistake and fix it. And then just kind of move it around however I like. Alrighty, look at that. You're doing a great job, I can just tell. And I can't wait to see your pictures, and I love that you send me pictures. You look so happy and excited when you're done. And that makes me happy too. So I'm just playing around with my color. That's the fun part about painting. You just kind of like play around with the color until you're happy. All right, awesome. I'm going to use my flat brush and just add a little bit more black, but it's going to be to the edges. So I'm going to wet my flat brush, squeeze out some of the water, grab some of the black, just kind of fill in. Let me zoom out here a little bit. Fill in some of my edges here. Oops, my brush is too wet. All right, so I'm gonna let that sit for a minute because my brush and the paper is a little too wet. So use my breath. All right, this is looking good. Okay, so let's get a smaller round brush, rinse it in our clean water, put it in our white like this, and get a little bit more. So we want that white to be kind of, I don't know, soupy, I guess is the best word. All right, so we just roll our little round brush there. So see, we pick up all that pigment. Perfect. So now, this is the best part. Take one of your brushes in the handle part and take this brush and just kind of beat it. Gentle. Oh, how cool does that look? Oh my goodness. I am so excited. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for this painting. This painting is looking so cool. So excited. Now let's once again take our blow dryer from far, far away on low, on the low setting. And just kind of just blow dry it for count to 15 and then be done. 15, done. Okay, and before we do the last little bit, I'm gonna take my flat brush. I'm gonna show you exactly how I did it. So I'm going to take my water, and look, I'm like barely putting it in that dirty, gross water. And then I'm gonna squeeze out all that. I'm gonna squeeze it all out. Touch it into the black again. And then I'm just gonna cover up this corner that I see is a mistake. Okay. But this corner, for whatever reason, is like really wet. So I'm going to blot it, which is totally okay. I'm gonna blot it, and then I'm just gonna cover it up like that. Just a little back and forth action. Cover it up. See? Awesome. Just kind of put a little bit more black. All right, grab a little bit more black. Kind of fill in some of these places that I want to be darker. Like that. Perfect. And then I'm just going to wipe my brush off, grab some more black. Okay, my black's a little dry, so grab a little bit of water, put it on my black, and then just kind of lightly fill in these areas to darken them up just a little bit before I add some more stars. Okay. Awesome. Now that we've done that, we rinse our brush. We take this brush for the very last time, get it wet, make sure there's like all the water's out of it, and then we just gently touch the edges like this, like use our brush on the side, okay? Because if you use it straight on, it's more like a pencil, and so you're gonna make more pinpoints, you know what I mean? Instead of like these really faded out edges, which that's what we want. We want these faded edges so that you can see the layers of color underneath it. You know what I mean? See what we're seeing? Like you're seeing the yellows and how that yellow and blue mixed together and gave us a really cool like green color. And see, it makes it just, you know, we're seeing those blues, and you can even see some of the white underneath there. It just gives it like this really cool glow. And it's like that cool glow that we see when we see those really awesome NASA photos. Which, I'm not gonna lie, totally my inspiration for this stuff. NASA. Okay, I am grabbing little bits of black as I go, just because I like to fill in certain spots. That's it. Pretty handy dandy. And I'm gonna come over here and just do this edge. And then, you know, grab a little black as I go and just kind of fill in some of the lighter areas. 'Cause that's just me. You don't have to if you don't want to. It's totally cool. We're about to cover it up with some cool stars. Alrighty, so this is what we got going. I personally want to make this area a little bit darker. You can do that too if you like. If you see areas you're like, you know, I think that would look better with a little bit more black. Or I think that would look better if I added a smidge of blue, because sometimes I'm like, black's too dark. Maybe I'll add blue instead. And I've done that before too. And it gives a really cool, like in the reference photo, for example, like right here, like I added more blue than black to kind of give that really cool glow look. So it's all about what you want to do. Rinse out my brush a little bit, and I'm just going to come in here. I'm just gonna, because you gotta think though, in space, everything moves kind of like a liquid. You know, it expands because there's no like jar to keep it in. So it's gonna try to take up its space, and it's almost like it spills, right? And it spills out and it goes as far as it can. I don't know. It's cool. I love it. Space is cool. All right. That, my friends, is done. Okay, so now I'm going to go in here, rinse out my brush, and I'm totally done with that. Go back to my little brush, go back into my white. Okay, my white has dried out, so we're just gonna grab a little bit of water. We don't want this too terribly wet because we want our stars to spread out too terrible much. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna roll around in this white. We're gonna get it at the end, and we're gonna just do like little like polka dots, little bops. So take your brush up and down like this, right? You want it completely vertical, and then you're just gonna do little bops. So these are our stars. But that's not how we're gonna do this. That's how we start. Just like when you did the planet painting. Start out by doing little dots. All right, I think I'm done with my dots for now. Okay, maybe not. Every time I get done, I'm like, I just want to add one more. Just one more. Okay, so those are my dots for now. And now I'm just gonna take my brush, I'm gonna put it back in that white paint, and just like we did last time, oops, I'm about to knock over my brushes. I'm gonna take my other brush, and at the end of it, I'm just gonna tap. Tip tap. Cool. Very cool. And now we just let it dry. So once again, you could either just walk away or you could use a blow dryer. For the sake of being fast, I'm gonna take my blow dryer right quick. All right, kiddo, so it looks like I'm done and I could touch it. It's kind of dry. I do think I want to go one more time with my small round brush into my white paint and do a few more stars, just because I think my stars kind of faded out a little bit when they dried. So if you like, you can do that too. Just kind of go in there and bop those around. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, buddy. That looks so cool. Now, a couple of them are a little out of control, right? So if you find spots where you think they're a little out of control, just grab a rag and just dab them out. So that's what I'm doing here. Like right there, that area was a little bit much, and that area is a little bit much, and right there, boom. All right. So there we go. Now, it's my favorite part. Peeling the tape time. Remember, peel at an angle so we don't rip our paper. So here we go. See, I'm peeling at that angle. Ooh. Aw, check that out, kiddo. Do the other side. All right. This one side got a little wet, so gotta be careful. There's that one. And oh yeah, check out our galaxy. What? Look at that thing. Let me zoom in. Admire our gorgeous work. Look at that. Beautiful. We'll compare it to our other one we did. My little sample that I got. Check that out. We didn't do so bad, did we? I love it. I hope you're proud of yourself. This is a fun project to do. And remember, holidays are coming up. So if you ever think that, you want to give a gift to somebody, always send them a painting because they will love it. I promise. So thanks for joining me. You did a great job. I'm very proud of you in that you do this every time and you amaze me. I'm looking forward to your photos. And remember, Aunt Summer loves you.